Bill here with 30-Minute Woodshop. Thanks for joining. Today, keeping with our farmhouse style aesthetic, I'm going to show you how to make a really easy paper towel holder. So all we have here is going to be an 1.25-inch dowel, another 1/2-inch dowel, and basically, you know, the 1.25 goes into the center, and then a 1/2-inch dowel is for tear off. And then I have this older piece of pine, 3/4-inch pine that I have sitting around. I make a perfect little base for it. I'm going to make a square 6x6-inch base, which is a little bit larger than most of these paper towel rolls. So we should be perfect with that. So let's get started. Okay, I have my piece marked off 6 inches this way and 6 inches this way. So I'll make my first cut across, and then I'll turn it around 90 degrees and make the second cut, and we're ready to go. So let's get started. Okay, now I got to hit it with some sandpaper. All I want to do, because this is old, I'm hitting it with 100 first, which is not normal for me. I normally use 220 to start with, but I'm going to hit it with the 100 grit, and then I'm going to take it down to 220 the second time, just to get off some of this older waxy covering so paint sticks a little better. Let's make some noise. Okay, sanding's done. Managed to round off all these edges a little bit so there's not harsh. And now what I have to do is mark my center. So just taking a stick, put a little X in the center here. Accuracy in this is not super critical. And next I want to put in a little mark for my tear-off dowel. So just to make sure I've got this thing set up properly, where I'm going to set my tear-off dowel, it's going to be right about there. So that should be good. And again, I'm just eyeballing this for the tear-off dowel. All we need is something to catch the paper, so when we tear it off, exact location isn't critical. Now, one of the things about these dowels is when you buy them at 1.25 inches, it is not 1.25 inches, and a 1/2 inch is not a 1/2 inch. So make sure you measure these. Grab a set of calipers. If you saw one of my previous videos, I put a link in there for a Minatoyo digital caliper. Absolutely, guys. You all need, if you're doing any kind of work, you need to have a good set of calipers. Don't buy those cheap, crappy ones. Go for the really good digital ones, you know, for about 100, 150 bucks, 120 bucks. It's worth the price you spend. You'll use them forever. So anyway, and then try and find a drill that fits the dowel. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a through hole. So I'm securing this. Let's start back here. I'm securing this with a 2.5-inch deck screw. Come up through the bottom into the center of the dowel. But I'm putting a through hole here, so I know exactly where it's going, and it guides it down the center. That way I don't have to worry about it being off center and things being kicked left or right or anything. So pretty straightforward. All right, for my 1/2 inch dowel, I have my location marked. All I'm doing here is using my birdcage awl to get a starter hole. Push down 3 or 4 twists. You have a nice little spot for your drill to start. Okay, 1/2 inch drill, 1/2 inch hole, 1/2 inch dowel fits pretty well. And it's, if you notice, it's still vertical both ways, so that's looking good. That's one of the things you always worry about these things. You get off a little and it's kind of kicked off one side. So all I have to do is put some glue in there, glue and screw this down, and ready for paint. Alright, so I'm using some PVA glue here. This is waterproof. You don't have to use waterproof glue. Oh, one thing I want to do before I do this is I want to point a hole in the center of my... Can I get away with it? Okay, so I'm going to try and do this without putting a hole in the center of this. Mostly because I have this pocket in here, so that should hold it. We'll give it a try and see what happens. So all I'm going to do here is just throw some glue down. And if you can see, you can't see it there, but this does have a little bit of slop in it, left and right. So I'm going to throw a little more glue in it, just to act as a filler. Watch those, I'll just come at the bottom. So there we go. And it's coming out the bottom portion. All right, now we just want to put the screw in. Let's and there we go. Looking pretty good. Wipe the glue around it. So it's PVA glue. Is easily wiped off with water as long as it's still wet. Once it dries, yeah, not so much. So we'll put a little bit on here. And there we go. So, get a quick read on that. Do a little more wiping glue off. And honestly, we're ready to start painting this. So let's take a quick gander. Goes on, perfect. Be able to rip off the sheets right there. We'll try one of these older ones. So, pretty easy to do. Actually, you're supposed to pull these down, not up. That's why it's so long. So, pretty straightforward. Pull it in, pull it down, you're done. Very standard, very classic. Let's go paint it. Okay, I'm just using some rattle can white on this. So we'll come back and put a couple more coats on this. I want it to be kind of thin though. I don't want it to be real thick. Kind of sticking with the farmhouse style. That cottage look. So give it 20 minutes, let it dry, and do it again. Well, I got 3 coats of white paint on this from a rattle can. You can still see a lot of the grain through here, especially on the edge and along here. So that's pretty cool. That's exactly what I was trying to achieve, though, by the way, which is a cottage kind of farmhouse style. So perfect. You can see it fits our roll of paper perfectly. Great. So easy project, guys. One of those things you can make in a matter of a few minutes, get it painted, get it into the house, you know, and have a great win. It's a great thing. Put on your counter, and hey, hope you got something out of this. There's links in the bottom for some of the tools and things I've used here. Go ahead and explore those. There's also a link to my blog down there. You can check that out. And hey, until next time, folks, good making.